The nice thing about Glasgow is it's not a huge city, but it actually is a city. It's got buildings that are proper city height. They look like bits of New York with tops chopped off.
But very much a place with a character.
When I came up, I was overwhelmed by how friendly the people were in the city. And I think when you're away from home, that's essential to kind of feel welcome and at home somewhere else.
You always talk to anybody, you know. Well, at times you want them to shut up, but everybody is very friendly.
It's got a big gridiron street system. It's a very handsome city.
I think you do feel that you're the centre of something.
Glasgow has always had quite a long history of mixed cultures, and I think that's evident throughout all walks of life and activities in the city. Our own studio is a very mixed range of cultures and nationalities, and I think that's representative of the makeup of the city just now, and also the attraction for people coming in from abroad as well.
Glasgow is a great city to be based in, because if we want a contact in terms of social innovation, making things for people, multiculturalism, openness to the world internationally, then Glasgow offers that to our students, I feel.
This school produces people who have made worldwide impact in the art world, and also it brings to it people who have worldwide impact.
We are very happy to have a global population of students here at the Glasgow School of Art, many cultures. World in an art school.
You feel that you belong to something big.
It is quite a close community. You get a very good, strong community sense about it. With the student union, we've got Vic and, so everybody goes there. I mean, we all go together.
The Glasgow School of Art has a uniqueness in being a small institution that combines the disciplines that it combines. High-level architecture, high-level fine art, high-level design. So in a sense we're relatively unique. There isn't anywhere south of the border that does that. There are very few places in Europe.
I think studio experience is absolutely invaluable. It's the cornerstone of how we learn, and we also design workplaces for other much larger corporations who are fascinated by the way that studios function, because they're excellent places when you've got peer learning, when you want information to move around an environment. There's all sorts of different ways that a studio functions that go beyond having a big open space and lots of people in it.
And I think the one thing that studio gets that you don't get anywhere else is the atmosphere.
It's really nice to have a studio space in a nice environment where you can bounce off your peers. It's really quite refreshing to work at a school where studio is so important.
And I think that's the thing that makes this art school incredible, is that it's so practice oriented. Brilliant historical and critical theory. The standard of the essays and dissertations is nowhere higher in Scotland. They're amazing because these students write about what they do. And really, art isn't just for extroverts. Really, there are a lot of introverted people here. They're shy and they don't have a lot of personal confidence, but by the time they leave, they are so transformed.
It becomes like an environment for creativity.
And it's just a good rehearsal for when you actually have to do it for real, I think.
Within the School of Design, we are all designers. So we're all thinking about craft, aesthetics, technology and culture. They're exposed from one room or one floor to the next to different types of thinking and different types of work. So that's a great advantage, I feel, at the Glasgow School of Art.
It's an environment of freedom, and they let you do whatever you want to do, but at the end you realize it wasn't like that. So you've been taught for 4 years to become someone.
When I look at the other work that happens from different art schools, I am really glad that I've done this, because we do loads and loads of research and we talk to people, and that's the main thing, designing for people rather than just designing pretty things.
Our students are very, very successful. They win awards already when they're here. And that acknowledgement means when they go out into the world, they can already be effective within the world of business or increasingly set up their own practice.
I think for every year that the course runs, there's another design company that's been set up and they've all done really well. That's really encouraging for us. You do certainly think that, yes, it's enjoyable, but there's actually a need for these products. And then why shouldn't you just go and do it? Why should you just sit there and think, oh, I had a great idea, but I never did anything with it?
Our students end up all over the world. You know, the textiles programme does have an international reputation. If you look at the types of companies that the students go on to work for, big names such as Dolce & Gabbana, Ford Motors, a lot of them set up on their own. A name that everybody will have heard of is Jonathan Saunders. One of the recent growth areas for our students is that some of them go on to automotive design. So there's new opportunities come along all the time for textile designers.
Somebody told me I'd never get into art school, so I tried it. That was my motivation. It's incredible having international art students. You've got all sorts of colours, creeds, everything, and different backgrounds and what they bring to an art practice. It's brilliant, it's eye-opener.
It was mostly the reputation of the school, and I'd heard about it, and the artists that have come out of here. And also just the building, you know, kind of one of those things that you stand outside the building. I would have been there. Before I came to school, I was actually working in theatre. It's been fun, but I always wanted to do painting, you know, since I was a kid. And I kind of was thinking, this is something I'll have to do. I'll have to do this. I'll be thinking about this, you know, 60 years later, thinking, oh, you decide what you want to do, and they help you achieve your aims, your ambition. So it's been fantastic for that. It's really been good.
So what you've seen is a kind of miracle. Douglas Gordon, Ross Sinclair, Christine Borland, Roddy Buchanan, Alan Currell, Stephanie Smith and Eddie Stewart. I could go on, Jackie Donaghy, Rosalind Ashashibi. All of these people have come out of either this department or these studios upstairs. We don't teach how to be a star. We teach things like innovation, collaboration, negotiation. We help people try and organise their time in terms of making a project rather than an individual work. Because we have dedicated studio spaces, because of the proximity to staff, it opens up an incredibly inventive and extroverted, almost entrepreneurial sense of DIY. These students can argue anything. They can get permission for anything. They're amazing. But yet their confidence is about the power of art to change people and how transformative it is in terms of spaces, and that's what I think empowers them.
One thing we have a reputation for is students are very employable. Virtually all of them will be employed within the first 3 months. We're always saying to students, it's not about just getting you don't want just to get a job, you want to get the job that you want, right? So you're in competition with all these other architectural graduates. You know, what are your skills? What are you really strong at? And what do you want to learn next? Our studios are important to us because within our structure we expect students to learn as much from each other as from us. And they learn by seeing things happening in their own peer group and developing strategies about talking about it and using each other as foils and feedback. But then I think that also relates to outside. You don't work in isolation. You have to start getting on with people. You have to work out how you're going to get somebody to be in the place that you want them to be with you. It's kind of a research lab. It's a place where you do some of your thinking, some of your doing. The studio is also about starting to learn about that kind of shared experience, about the dynamic of a group of people.
We have a lot of students coming over from, say, Sydney, Vienna School of Architecture, Paris, and then we send students back as well. So you always get very good feedback from like the years out that people take from here. It's quite essential to get a range of knowledge of how architecture is practiced elsewhere. Your approach would be so much richer for it.
Quite often you come in and it's quite difficult sometimes to tell who the students and the staff are. But with the way that they're discussing things together, it's really quite informal, the way that we deal with each other. And we want this place to be somewhere where there is that dialogue between staff and students.
The enthusiasm of the staff is a huge factor. It's nice to be somewhere where everyone's as motivated as you are.
Glasgow School of Art is one of the largest communities for research in the UK. We are developing knowledge through our research which informs all of our teaching, and that's crucial to be a leading research-based institution. Research doesn't take place in isolation. We're looking at that in terms of a contribution to an international discourse. We have a large range of international partners with new programmes meeting the kind of intellectual demands and research directions that we want to move in and that students are demanding, that reflect the kind of research that's going on in the professional world.
We do have a postgraduate programme that only exists in Glasgow, and I think probably what's very exciting is that international students or any UK students that might have gone on to postgraduate and study in London, the course doesn't exist for them there, so they come here.
What I like about the course is that it gives you the freedom to explore your own ideas, your own potential. So there is a lot of experimentations at every stage which goes off. There is a lot of resources. We are open from 7 days a week, that is from 8 till 9, that's quite amazing.
Talking of the student relationship, I mean, we are actually a family. Right in the master's class, we've been able to go places. I've been able to go to France with my classmates. I've been able to go to Austria with my classmates. I've been able to go to Germany with my classmates. And we still plan going to Netherlands in a couple of weeks' time. So, I mean, it's such a family thing. I really enjoy it.
And I guess when you get to this stage of your practice, you want to kind of put on a show, and it's kind of daunting. Like, I came onto the course having not exhibited anywhere and kind of never felt really sort of at a place with my work where I wanted to. So I think things like this are good because it's like make a jump, like do something big. At this stage as well, I feel like you finish a course and you either sink or swim, and I think when there are sort of people around you sort of wanting you to do well and sort of willing you on, especially when they're artists that you kind of look up to or respect, then it's really important.
I think it's important students are taught by somebody who's still making work for a couple of reasons. One, you're a role model, right? And you want to be able to say to them, listen, this is a lifelong commitment. We don't just start it now and do it for a couple of years and then do something else. And I'm not just sitting back and teaching you what I learned a long time ago. I'm in the mode of figuring it out myself. And as that struggle is still pertinent to me, and I'm still looking around and seeing what other people are doing, it gives me a fresher eye.
I mean, I love London, I'm not knocking it, but it felt kind of like a bubble, whereas it felt here that people kind of looked out. You seek opportunities kind of all over the world, which is really ambitious, but kind of good.
There's a fantastic self-supporting art scene here. You make links with Scandinavia, you make links with Eastern Europe, you go to LA when these opportunities arise, and they do arise, if you sort of slog away at it. But to slog away at it, you need to be in the right place, and Glasgow's the best place to be, depending on your opinions of London, outside London in the UK at the moment, without a doubt.
It's known outside for having a real pool of talent within it, and that talent sort of really influencing a lot of current design wider than the city, wider than Scotland. Like various other folk that have come out of the art school, you know, working on that much broader field. We're just back from Latvia, competing again for master planning an entire city there.
The school gave me everything I really have. You know, I left home when I was 18 and came to Glasgow and had an education at the School of Art, and it literally changed my life. What we are now in Graven Images has grown out of where we were at 25 years ago when we graduated from the School of Art. A lot of the things we do now, we learned then.
I found Glasgow School of Art quite a sort of fast track to the point where I could independently decide, right, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to pursue.